Hi, everybody. I'm Brian Mudd, a fan of South Plains politics. Here's your talking points for this week. So what does redistricting really mean, and why should I care? Good questions, and we'll give you some answers before the Texas legislature gets to work. And if COVID has taught us anything, it's that cities need a 21st century health department to help with these challenges. The challenge now, how to pay for it.
From the studios of KMAC Television in Lubbock, your local election headquarters. This is Talking Points with Brian Mudd.
Thanks for being with us. Also this week, an expensive puzzle. We've talked a lot over the years about the realities of serving in government, and one of those is that no one who votes for you ever wants you to raise their taxes. Another reality is that everyone who votes for you wants their roads fixed and to feel safe because police are able to do their job, and that costs money, tax money, that no one wants you to spend. So the annual puzzle to put together here is to lower taxes and still pay for all the things that never seem to get any cheaper. The Lubbock City Council's $946 million budget includes the work programs and projects and lowers your tax rate by 1.8%. But, and stop me if you've heard this before, rising property appraisals mean you'll still pay more taxes this year. KMAC's Brian Chandler spoke with the mayor to finish this budget puzzle.
With the $945 million City Council approved for next year's budget, streets, safety, and city services highlight the priorities.
I think it's responsible. I think it addresses our needs. I think it keeps up with the demands of a growing city.
The budget increases the city's street improvement funds by $1 million, contributing $11 million to widen key roads like 114th Street to accommodate this decade's 11% growth rate. It also gives Lubbock police recruits a $9,000 raise and invests $8 million into a new public health facility, thanks in part to $14 million federal dollars sent down through the American Rescue Plan.
We're trying to make certain that we, did this thing the right way, and that we, met the demand for our needs with the revenue we had.
The biggest change to your tax bill will likely be in your property taxes. With rising home values offset by a lower tax rate, the average homeowner will pay about $25 more per year for an average bill of $883.
New property going on the tax roll, the increase in existing properties and sales tax allow us to keep up with the growth in our community.
All right, that is Ryan Chandler reporting, and District 5 Councilman Randy Christian's here to talk about all that and more. Randy, it's good to see you. The budget process is really just, one of those things where you're not ever going to please anybody. But talk about how the process goes for you and just how tough it is to put it all together and make the numbers work.
Well, I know it's going to sound crazy to some people, but I think this is one of my favorite things is for us to go through the budget, because we go through every department, line item by line item, and it gives you a better understanding, separate and apart from the numbers and the dollars, of how complex and what it takes to run a city this size, from, solid waste to public safety to our park systems. It's pretty amazing, and so you kind of look at it and go, I can't even believe this really works. Mm-hmm. But I do believe that we did a good budget. The budget works for me this year. We got some more money for our police department. We're continually paying down debt. We're paying for vehicles, mostly with cash. I was amazed when I saw we're purchasing a $1 million piece of equipment. It's under the vehicle category for our city landfill. You don't think about those things like that, but that machine out there that just crushes things and compacts it, and we've got to have it. So it's very, very interesting to me every year when we go line item by line item. So I'm very pleased with how it came out, and when we signed off on it, and we're good to go for another year.
And of course, water, sewer, roads, things like that make up a lot of this. With the way we've heard about old infrastructure starting to cause problems here, there, and across the country, are you confident we're spending enough, I guess, on fixing these types of things?
We have a great water department and leadership in that department. Not only the water itself, but the infrastructure to deliver it to our citizens. These guys are really good, and we're always looking to improve it. We're always looking to maintain it properly. But when we're talking about water, just jumping over to another it's the same subject, but it's important, the fact that how good Lubbock, Texas is in regards to our water and our future water. Mm-hmm. And we really do have water for the next 100 years because of some great folks before me that served on the council that made that a priority. And it makes Lubbock, Texas incredibly attractive from an economic development standpoint.
And talk about some of the street work that's in there as well. And again, just to be clear, all this is separate from the $170-odd million bond package for street work that's going to come to a vote in November. But there's a lot of stuff in the budget still to do some street work.
Absolutely, absolutely. Say, for example, 114th, from Quaker to Upland, really almost. And we've got pieces of that within the budget, but of course, as you said, there'll be some other things that will be in the bond package for this November.
And you mentioned getting our police taken care of and a lot of vehicles. There's over $4 million in new funding for police salary. Now, is this money coming from the plan that was put forth recently by the Police Association?
That was a collaborative effort between the Police Association and the City Hall and our administrative folks. And from what I've heard from the Police Association, they're very pleased. But that's just a starter for us as far as council. But we want to make sure that our police is well paid. It's a competitive salaries for West Texas.
Randy, while you're with us, I know you've been a part of helping play a big role in helping folks dealing with addiction issues and making sure that that's out there in the mainstream here in Lubbock and helping with their recovery process here in Lubbock. And there's some more big stuff coming along with that, right?
Absolutely. We had our first, that was one of my top priorities when I was campaigning, and then of course when I took the oath of office. And for personal reasons, and we are very comfortable talking about it, that our youngest son was deep in addiction 8 or 9 years ago, and he got help and actually went through the Texas Tech Collegiate Recovery Program. That's absolutely incredible. So that was I had a passion for that. So that we did in 2019. We did our first Source to Solutions Addiction Recovery Symposium at the Civic Center, and it was an absolute huge success for the first one. We had over 500 participants, but what it is, Brian, is a place where people that are struggling with addiction, maybe they're in the process of recovery, or even, as I call, caregivers like myself, they can go there and they can go talk to professionals in different organizations and entities that can help them and provide them some help. And then and our one for two this year is going to be on Wednesday, October the 13th at the Civic Center. Same format, lots of great speakers, and really what our goals are still the same. One thing that's a little bit different about this year, we're going to have a banquet that night in honor of Carl Anderson. Carl's probably he's in his 80s now, but he started the Collegiate Recovery Program at Texas Tech, and he saved lives and turned lives around. So we're going to honor him that night. And one of the purposes of the banquet is to raise scholarship money for the Collegiate Recovery Program, because kids that stay clean and sober that are in that program can actually get scholarships to Texas Tech. And another person who's going to be speaking that night is a guy that you know, Sammy Morris, who's had a great Tech career and NFL career. Now is back in Lubbock in the football program, and he's going to be speaking also that night. So the whole day is going to be just great, and it's all focused on addiction and recovery. And I'm real proud of our health department for I planted the seed, but they made it grow, so to speak.
How can folks take part of that, or just get out there and help with all this?
Well, it's, everything is free that morning. We've got some vendors that are going to be providing some breakfast food and lunch. There is going to be a ticket price for that evening, but they can go to the health department's website and they can find all the information and actually all the speakers that are going to be participating in that, both the morning ones and the afternoons. And the afternoon are going to be breakout sessions. They're going to be kind of topic specific, and that will be a big help to those three entities I talked about just a minute ago.
District 5 Councilman Randy Christian. Hey, talk to you soon, my friend. Be well.
Always good to talk to you. Take care.
And coming up, problems with the county's new computer software system that's only a month old. And expect more partisan problems when the state legislature goes back to work tomorrow. Redistricting is the main topic, and that's where we pick up our recent interview with Lubbock Representative Dustin Burrows. Next on Talking Point.